and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. A lot of receiver talk lately. We talked about Brandon Ayuk, or we talked about the Brandon Ayuk situation, but in a larger scheme of what is a wide receiver one. We define the wide receiver, and now we have a list of wide receiver ones. This is not a ranking. If you want a ranking, we have a top 10 ranking of wide receivers. This is just off the top of our head, and of course there was some research, but I think a lot of it is what you see. And to me, I have a list of 15 guys, and the man with 18 is Austin.
Yeah. We won't go through all of them in order because it'd be really hard to go all of them. So do you want to go like in fives, or how many do you want to go? Because I don't want to go through all 18 and explain it.
Yeah, how about 3?
Okay, we'll start with the easiest 3 then. The 3 that you will definitely have. I have Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, and CeeDee Lamb. Those 3 I think are home runs. I think there's a couple, probably like 8 that I think you have to have as well. But these guys, again, it's not even a discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to mark off CeeDee, Amon-Ra, and you had Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, those are the 3 that I mentioned.
Okay, I have those as well. I would say other guys that I felt, I'm sure you have as well, are Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and Jamar Chase.
Yep, I do have all of those guys. I'll go a little bit I'll go on the other side. I'll go on some of the guys that maybe are in the middle bottom for me. AJ Brown, no, he's not at the middle bottom, but AJ Brown. I have Amari Cooper and I have Mike Evans.
Okay, I have Mike Evans, and I must have forgot AJ Brown, but yes, he is a wide receiver 1. Who was the other guy?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper was tough for me. I
mean, he almost had 1,300 yards last year.
I know.
Let me put it this way, Kevin. Let me ask you this question. Do you think Amari Cooper was ever a wide receiver 1 in his career?
Yes.
Okay, well, last year he had his most yards of his entire career.
Okay. Man.
He's never had more yards. He's never even had 1,200 last year. He had 1,250, and he missed 2 games. He was averaging 83 yards per game. He made a Pro Bowl again last year after not making it for a while. So I definitely think he's that. Over the last 2 years, he had 1,160 with 9 touchdowns. Last year, had 1,250 for 5 touchdowns. Like I said, with the 2 games missed. So I definitely think he deserves to be there.
Yeah, so now I'm at 17. I must have mentally written AJ, and then I was debating Amari. Another guy that I do not have on the list, and I'm wondering if you have him on the list, is Cooper Kupp.
I do, and it's because when he plays. That's how I looked at this. This isn't fantasy football. I don't really like Cooper Kupp for fantasy football because when he's not, because he's never 100%. But like he had almost 750 yards last year and only played 12 games. If he had played every game, he would have had over 1,000 yards again. I do think he's a wide receiver 1. It's just, can he stay healthy? I don't think that when he's on the field, he's a wide receiver 1, and that's kind of how I viewed it. When you're on the field, you're a wide receiver 1. Yes. Cooper Kupp, you have to guard Cooper Kupp as a wide receiver 1. When you're talking about defensive schemes, Cooper Kupp's a wide receiver 1 defensive scheme. Like that's how you have to scheme against him. Now, if he gets hurt, obviously you can't use him for that game. But when he's healthy, you're looking at him like this guy is dangerous.
So I agree. I was thinking when he's on the field, and he has been a wide receiver 1. The problem that I didn't keep him on this list, that kept him off the list for me, and I'm going to keep him off the list, was the availability. To me,
but that doesn't change what you are. it's kind of like we put it like this. There's players even in the NBA that are consistently hurt. Like I would say Ja's been missed a lot of games recently, whether
You
it's
could say
suspension
Kawhi.
or sure, Kawhi. But when they're playing, when Kawhi's playing, he can drop 50 on anybody. So he's a superstar. It's like saying that Kawhi's not a superstar because he doesn't play as many games.
Huh. I get what you're saying, and I understand.
Cooper
your
Kupp
point.
is on the field 100%. He plays like a top 10, top 5 wide receiver. No?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then I would say he's a wide receiver 1 by my definition. Because I think that you talked about it before during the Brandon Ayuk sort of ordeal. It's how the defense plays you, correct? When they're playing Cooper Kupp, they're not just he's a wide receiver 2. No. They have to double him or he'll go for 150 yards like he has multiple times in his career. Again, he has the year where he had the second most yards ever, 1947, with 16 touchdowns. Again, last year, if he had played every game, he would have had over 1,000 yards. Well, I understand it's like a fantasy aspect. I don't want him. I don't want him in fantasy because he's going to miss games. And there may be an important game where you need him and he won't be there. But if we're talking when he's on the field, 100%, no doubt.
All right. And so I'm going to go to another problem that I had with Cooper Kupp. I was shocked with just the incredible stats from Puka Nacua. And to me, I'm like, to me, it was he filled in for Kupp, and it caused me to question: is it actually Kupp or is it just the scheme?
I don't think you could have almost 2,000 yards in a season and not be you. You can't scheme 2,000 yards. I'll give you 1,000, but he almost had 2,000 yards. Again, he would have had over 1,000 yards last year if he wasn't. And that's including the games where he played like 2 snaps and was hurt afterwards. So I also have Puka on the list here because I do think that Puka's wide receiver 1.
I have Puka.
I have both.
The thing that kept Cooper Kupp, to me, a wide receiver 1 is when he's on the field, yes, he is a wide receiver 1. But to me, what keeps I added health into that. Into this is a guy when I'm going out and I'm getting a wide receiver.
Okay, well then is Kawhi a superstar? I think that's a similar question.
I'm
you have to
say
ask.
No.
Wow.
Today, no, not.
I disagree.
Okay.
Entirely, because again, when Kawhi's 100% on the court, there's maybe no one better. Like it really is. He could be the best player in the league on any given night, and there's not many people that can do that.
Yeah, when he's on the field, when he's 100% healthy. But to me, it's that when and if.
But that doesn't change who you are. That just changes how valuable you are to the team. But that doesn't change your value when you're on the field. I think when you say who's a wide receiver 1, this isn't a ranking. Right? It's who's in that tier when they're healthy.
Huh.
Because again, you bring in the defense. If Cooper Kupp's even 50%, they still have to look at him like Terrell Owens broke his leg a couple of weeks later, played in the Super Bowl and had like 150 yards. Guys like that are, if they're on the field, again, can break a game open.
So I'll go another one. Is Keenan Allen on your list?
No, but this is more situation. This is for next season, and I feel like the problem with him is I think DJ Moore was straight up better last season. And so that hurts. He's in a new system with a rookie quarterback. It's going to be hard to really get him implemented. I feel like with also Rome Odunze, a guy that's I think is also extremely talented. It's not injuries with Keenan. People overrate, I think, the injuries with Keenan. I think Keenan's a very, very, very good player. But I just don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 this season, even when he's 100%, because they're not going to utilize him like that. If you go since 2016, he's only missed like 10 games, and since 2016, Keenan has. He missed 4 this last year, 7 the year before that. It's like 11. Then he missed 2 games in 2020. So that's what? It's 13?
Yeah.
13 games over 7 years. That's not injury prone, in my opinion. It's football. You can miss 2 games a year and be fine. Now, earlier in his career, like he played 1 game in 2016, 8 games in 2015, but he's really gotten over that. He's been a Pro Bowler 6 of the last 7 seasons. But again, I don't think he will be utilized like that. I don't think or again, when you talk about the defense, I don't think defenses are playing Keenan like he's a wide receiver. I do have DJ Moore on my list, but I don't have.
I do not have DJ Moore. He's got that speed. And I guess
It's the fact that he's done it everywhere. I mean, when he was with the Panthers, I mean, he had besides his last year with the Panthers, which he really did kind of struggle because the team was absolutely atrocious. But his other 3 years, 1175, 1193, 1157. What's crazy is he had those 3 years back to back to back. Didn't really get that many touchdowns because the team was bad and never made a Pro Bowl. Last year, 1364, Kevin, 8 touchdowns, still didn't make a Pro Bowl. In his 6 years, he has 6,500 yards, almost 6,600 yards. So I definitely think he's a wide receiver.
All right. Okay, so I don't have him. Man, because I'm at 17. I'm going to keep Cooper Kupp off the list because I'm going with the health, even though we're disagreeing with that. That's, to me, health is just, I view it, to me, that's part of your ability.
I'll bring up a great example. Is DeGrom an ace?
Ooh.
Because when DeGrom plays, I think he's the greatest pitcher of all time. Like when he's actually on the mound, I'm watching the greatest pitcher ever. But he's obviously not because he's not healthy enough. But if we're talking who's an ace, DeGrom would be on my ace list.
Okay. Yes, I would say, as much as I love DeGrom, and I'm totally happy, because that's probably the fan in me, I would say he's not an ace, because in the biggest moments, if you're dealing with health and you're not there, to me, that hurts my view of you.
But again, what it means to be an ace doesn't have to do with availability. And I don't think wide receiver 1 does. I don't think it matters.
I think it does. And that's just a fundamental disagreement. Even though with injuries, I don't think Keenan Allen's a wide receiver 1. But I will say one more thing. Do you have a rookie on this list?
No.
Okay, I don't have that. I thought about Marvin Harrison.
I feel like you have to prove it. I think in the NFL is so different than college. Do I think Marvin Harrison will be amazing this year? Yes. But I do not have a rookie. I feel like it's disingenuous to the guys who've been doing it for a while.
I agree. To me, I would categorize as he has the potential to be a wide receiver 1, but they still need to go.
He could be a wide receiver 1 this season, but I don't think I'm not going to put him on my list.
Yeah, if I had to categorize him, I'd say he has the potential, but he's not a wide receiver 1 right now. He could be, like you said, if he goes out and does fantastic this year. Yes, he's a wide receiver 1, but right now, when making this list, I don't have anything to go on in college, and it's different than ranking a rookie quarterback.
Okay. I think there's guys we disagree on, so go on to your next guy. Go on to the next 3. Go to the next 3.
Okay. So I'm going to say this. I have Travis Kelce on this list, but I don't have George Kittle because...
I don't have Travis Kelce because he's not a wide receiver, technically. I kind of left him off the list for that matter. I know we had the conversation about him being a wide receiver 1 for the Ayuk, but... Technically speaking, he's not. I understand why you have him on the list. I'm not going to put him on mine just by the way I define it, but I understand. I'm not going to say you're wrong.
No. It's our opinion.
His job is tight end, but his role
is wide receiver 1.
Yeah, sure. So it's just semantics, really. He's semantics. On my list.
Yeah. So that's the difference because George Kittle is a tight end. We've had this conversation. We've had this topic. To me, Travis Kelce fits the role of wide receiver 1. He is listed as tight end, but I wanted to keep him as wide receiver 1.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
This one, I'm going to say guys that I definitely think are, and then I have some guys that are, maybe I just have one. There are some guys where I'm believing in it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to disagree on one guy, but I'll say one definitely guy is Debo.
I have Debo.
Okay, you have Debo. Now, we have some guys. I would say Garrett Wilson is a wide receiver.
I have Garrett Wilson. We didn't mention Jamar Chase. I'm sure you have Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I said Jamar Chase with Devontae and Justin.
Okay.
But yeah, I will say I have Jalen Waddle.
I don't have Waddle.
Okay, that's why I was wondering.
Waddle, I feel like you talk about like play design. I think that's more Waddle because Waddle is getting 1,000 yards and he's a wide receiver too, so he's never going to get double teamed. Like he's the number 2 guy on his team, so he's never going to get double teamed, and he has a great offensive coordinator that's going to get him open a lot. Is he an amazing wide receiver too? Yes, but I don't think he's a wide receiver.
Yeah, this is where I can see the argument. What you're saying, he's not really a wide receiver 1. I can see him going to another team and being that wide receiver 1. So that's why I'm like, he's a wide receiver 1.
I think he could still be a great wide receiver too, other places. Like I don't know if he necessarily has the ability to like these guys that are double teamed. They still have to be effective. And I don't know necessarily if he's like that. I think he needs to escape the shadow of Hill for me to truly see whether or not that's true.
Yeah, and I totally get that. Another guy that I believe T. Higgins is wide receiver 1.
I struggle with that one. I know why you have him, and I wanted to have him, but at the end of the day, he's never had an 1,100-yard season. He's had 2 1,000-yard years, and I do think it helps that he's been playing with Jamar Chase and has had Joe Burrow. That's my response.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I'm sure that's a similar to response to Jalen Waddle.
Sure.
But a guy that I have Stephon Diggs. I still believe he's a wide receiver 1.
I don't have Diggs.
Okay.
Because I don't think this year he's going to be. I don't have any Houston players on mine, by the way. I don't have Nico, Tank, or Stephon.
Yeah, I have Stephon. I believe he's a wide receiver 1. I believe he's going to
Does it not matter that the entire second half of the season he was pretty much atrocious?
It does matter, but I also kind of, that goes into, to me, he really helps young quarterbacks. I know that is up for the debate, but I'm going to believe on the side of he helps quarterbacks. And there was a scheme issue, and sort of, I would say there was a falling out between him and Josh Allen. We don't know exactly the reason for that fallout, if it was Diggs or if it was Allen. Only time will tell. That is my response.
I don't have him on mine, though.
Okay. Yeah, no, I figured once I was like, yeah, Austin's probably not going to have him. So what guys have I not mentioned that you have on your list?
Did you mention Chris Olave?
Here's my thing about Chris Olave. I'm not really sure yet.
I don't think you've watched enough Saints games then.
I probably have not.
He's one of the, he played 15 games his rookie year, started 9, and had over 1,000 yards as a rookie. The next year, 11-23. So this past season, he had 11-23. Still missed 1 game. He's the only guy. Like he's the only guy who's even like a capable wide receiver a lot of the time, and so he's being double teamed. He's in a lot of very tough situations. If given the right situation, I think he could be a top 5 wide receiver easily.
He was considered, but he was a cut.
It's tough for a wide receiver to miss multiple games and do whatever and still have 1,000 yards as a rookie. In not the best situation. Again, the starting quarterback in 2022, Kevin, that he had 1,000 yards his rookie year was Andy Dalton.
Oh, Andy Dalton. Yeah. All right. I have one more guy, but
the closest receiver, by the way, only had, besides him, had 400 yards, 488.
Jeez. Okay.
I still have a couple more guys, but I'll let you go next.
Okay, well, I only have one more guy, and I have DK Metcalf.
Okay, DK is one of the guys that was left off, or not left off, left off of what I was going to say. He was on my list of 18. He's on
your list.
Yes.
Okay. So we agree on DK Metcalf.
Yes.
To me, he's so phenomenal, and he has a physicality, but also has the speed.
Okay. I'll go my next one that I definitely think is one, and he's also struggled from either poor quarterback play or not the situations. And he hasn't even had a 1,000-yard season yet. I just think he needs an actual quarterback. Is Drake London. Drake London last year, Desmond Ridder was at the helm. The year before that, it was Marcus Mariota. Kevin, those are the two quarterbacks that have been his guys. In those 3 years, he had 866 his rookie year, 905 last year. It's just they're not throwing the ball. Like I think he's that talented. I think he's getting the Kyle Pitts effect. It's just that Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder were his quarterbacks. I don't think it's actually a him problem. I do think he's a wide receiver one. I think he's extremely talented.
Who's the Pittsburgh offense coordinator now? It was
Arthur
also his
Smith,
coach.
the Falcons.
Yeah, was the head
coach.
Falcons
Yeah,
head
so
coach.
I think that's why Pickens is not on my list. I just don't.
Pickens
see
is
it.
not on my list as well. I think he's really good, but I don't see it yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I do have one more guy. I'll let you take a guess. Who's my one guy that you have yet to mention, or we've yet to talk about?
Man.
We said we both have Mike Evans, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Evans.
I have one.
Almost is the definition of a guy that dealt with so many quarterbacks and still produced. And then when given the right quarterback, excelled.
Okay. Well, there's still one guy. My 18th.
Oh man, this is tough. Oh, give me like 10 more seconds for me to guess. Oh man. It's not a Packers receiver, is it?
No.
Okay, no. I have no idea.
I'll give you one hint. He's in the NFC, so you're on the right side. The NFC.
NFC. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
I'll give you one more hint. He has a teammate that's on the list that we have mentioned.
A teammate. Huh. We already talked about Puka Nacua, so it's not him.
Yeah.
Do you have Tyler Lockett?
No.
Okay. I was gonna be surprised. All right, you can just tell me. I'll take the L on this one.
Devonta Smith.
Oh. What's your reasoning?
I think he's that good. I mean, he's proven it not just in college, but in the NFL. Last year, he had over 1,000 yards. The year before that, he had almost 1,200 yards. And he's been doing this while being, I guess, technically not the wide receiver one on his own team. But to put up 1,200 yards as a wide receiver two on your own team, I really do think he could do it somewhere else without any hesitation. I do think he has his games. There's games where A.J. Brown is not great, and that A.J. Brown puts up 4 yards in a game. Like, A.J. Brown actually did that. That was actually a thing that happened. But in those games, Devonta Smith can be amazing. And he is a wide receiver, one of those games that A.J. Brown is not.
Ooh, I was not expecting that. He, of course, is not on my list. He does get overshadowed by A.J. Brown, but there are moments where he struggles. But I see the argument.
I mean, if we go back to the Tampa game, the game they lost in the playoffs, he had 8 receptions for 148 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, A.J. Brown was hurt for that game. A.J. Brown didn't play.
Yeah.
So in the game where A.J. Brown isn't playing, again, Devonta Smith is easily wide receiver one. He goes for 150 yards in a loss where they scored 9 points. They scored 9 points and he had 150 yards. So I definitely think he's a wide receiver one.
All right. So a lot of disagreement. Was not expecting that. But let's know your thoughts in the comments. Also, idea about I include availability into the status of a player. I don't like what would be another term or definition of a superstar. I incorporate availability into that. You say you go on the field, this is what they are. Is that a correct description?
Based on how they play.
Based on how they play.
Based on what they can control. Players can control if they get hurt. If they're an injury-prone player, they don't want to be. That's not usually their choice. Again, if Kawhi tears his ACL or does something bad like he's had before, like again against the Jazz, I believe he tore his ACL. That's not his fault. It's not a Kawhi decision that he made. So I when he's on the court, he's a superstar. Like, again, we already made the discussion about Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. So for the listeners, let us know what side you're on. Do you have a third point of view? We love hearing your opinions, and we enjoy listening to it. And thank you for listening to us and listening to our show and following Outsiders' Opinions.